I'm Dave Asprey, the Bulletproof Executive. In part one, I just talked about which alcohols make you feel good and which ones make you feel bad the next day or even while you're drinking them. And it sounds kind of surprising, but different alcohols do have a different effect. Now that you know which ones to choose, what do you do to prevent the alcohol from causing the biological damage that it will cause? Because alcohol really isn't a health food. So now let's assume you did something. You drank some of this stuff, maybe something more toxic, maybe something less toxic. How do you lower the biological cost on your body so you can have an amazing holiday or an amazing birthday or whatever the heck it was? There's a couple things you can do. Number one, before you drink, or especially if you're drinking the unfiltered stuff, do the filtering in your stomach. This is Bulletproof upgraded coconut charcoal. It's black capsules. This is the finest particle size, and it's acid washed to remove heavy metals. It comes from coconut shells that are partly burned. The reason we do this is it makes huge amounts of surface area on each tiny molecule. So about a teaspoon of typical activated charcoal has the surface area of a football field if you flattened it out, and it has a negative electrical charge, which means it'll stick to positively charged things like certain types of toxins. So you take this with beer or wine, and you feel better the next day. And you don't get the headache that you thought came from dehydration, that actually came from your body desperately trying to get rid of these toxins, which can be one of the things that causes this. Since clear alcohol had charcoal before you drank it, and this other stuff hasn't had charcoal, just put them together in your stomach. It's not that hard to do. When you do it, you feel good. And it's pretty easy to take. You take them like any other pill. There's just one problem. Charcoal makes your poop turn black. You should expect that. If you take a lot of it, it can give you constipation. So you might just want to take one of them. But it's amazing. I've lost track of the number of surprised emails I get from people who went out and had way too much to drink and used activated charcoal just to feel better the next day. Next up, before you drink, have brain octane in your food. Brain octane is famous for being a bulletproof coffee. I'd pour it on every meal, just a tablespoon or so. If you look at studies on PubMed, you look at the effect of this kind of oil on the way something called lipopolysaccharide is processed by the liver, and you find out that it's helpful. Lipopolysaccharide is made by bacteria in your gut, and it makes you tired and cranky. It penetrates through the gut lining, and it's your liver's job to basically clean this up. When you drink alcohol, it makes it easier for lipopolysaccharide to make it through the gut lining, and then you have to clean that up. Well, if you have brain octane present, it's protective of the liver, which is kind of cool. This isn't a license to go out and drink too much. It's just a way to feel better the next day. So this is about protecting the body so that you have the energy that you want it to have. So brain octane is a really cool thing to do, but there's a better way. This is brand new. This is fat water. There's 2 grams of Bulletproof XCT oil, which is in nanoparticles in here. So if you want to try something that's an amazing experience, what you do is you take some vodka, pour yourself a shot of vodka. It's even better if you have a really cool shot glass to pour it into. And then add the fat water. Vodka, fat water, tastes amazing, and because it has this little tiny bit, about 2 grams of nanoparticles of oil in it, it doesn't taste creamy or oily. You can't really feel it in there. When you drink it though, you feel different. Vodka and fat water will make you feel amazing, and it's a delicious drink and even looks pretty cool. Let's see. It like goes away. I really like the taste. In fact, if someone handed that to me, I would think that there wasn't alcohol in it, but you feel the fun of the alcohol, but the downside is not the same. So that's one thing to do. When you're drinking, mix it the right way, which is kind of cool. And 2 other things you can do. One of them is Glutathione Force. Here's what happens when you drink alcohol. Your body gets the alcohol, and the liver says, toxin, got to get rid of it. So the first step of breaking alcohol down is it turns alcohol into something called acetaldehyde. And this aldehyde toxicity is one of the things that causes advanced glycation end products. And this is really tissue browning, when a sugar inexorably binds to a protein. So when you have alcohol, it's not the alcohol itself that's so toxic. It's actually the first step of breaking down alcohol that creates this huge spike of aldehyde that causes damage throughout your body, creates free radicals. Oh, and by the way, when these sugar molecules stick to the protein, they just keep creating free radicals over and over and over. It's actually what your aging spots are made out of. So you don't want to let the alcohol do this to you because you want to be in control of your biology, right? You're a biohacker maybe. So what do? You do something to blunt the aldehyde spike. And the thing that controls how much aldehyde you make is glutathione in the liver. So what you want to be able to do is help your liver, give it more glutathione. And there's two ways to do that. One is to take vitamin C and an amino acid called N-acetylcysteine, and this is all in the infographic for you, and I don't manufacture those things. But that's rate limited by an enzyme in your liver. And you can do that. You can take alpha lipoic acid as well. Do that if you have that stuff. However, the way I do it is I take Glutathione Force. Glutathione Force comes in a syringe. Each syringe has 10 doses, and it tastes like cinnamon orange. It's pretty good stuff. And you just do this. And you can hold it in your mouth, or you can wash it down with your vodka fat water. What happens there is now my liver is going to be able to absorb it. Most glutathione, when you take it, is not absorbed because your stomach acids break it down. This uses a pharmaceutical-grade delivery technique. We take a liposome, which is a healthy kind of fat, and we package the glutathione inside that, and then we add something called a lactoferrin molecule to it. And this means that throughout the entire upper GI tract, including the stomach, that the body loves these fats and it loves lactoferrin. So as soon as it sees those, it escorts the glutathione in. And this type of delivery system is shown to be 5 to 8 times better than plain liposomes. That's a lot of technical stuff. So at the end, what happens is you take this stuff, the liver has more glutathione. Because it has more glutathione, you don't get the aldehyde spike, so then you don't get all that browning of your tissues and all the free radicals that would have been created as the alcohol was broken down. You're giving the liver a leg up. That's what this is all about. And the final thing you can do, during or even after the alcohol, especially if you're going to drink beer and wine, one of the effects of ochratoxin A, the primary toxin found in coffee and beer and wine, especially American beer and wine, is that it flattens the inner mitochondrial membrane. Mitochondria are power plants in cells, and they need to have a wrinkly membrane to work. When they get flattened by toxic exposure over time, what happens is you make less energy in your cells. So how would you help your cells be more efficient at making energy? This is pretty important because you don't want to be hungover the next morning, right? Enter unfair advantage. This is the world's first whole body nootropic, cognitive enhancing substance. I take 4 of these a day. And when you take them, your body can make energy more efficiently in the mitochondria. It helps you recycle your energy better. They come in these handy dandy, really, really cool packets. And you take out one of them, shake it up, and drink it. And if you want bonus points for being the weirdest drinker, it has a really nice fruity flavor, and it works fine in a beverage. You can add it, and if you thought ahead of time to have a spoon, you can stir it around. Let's see if I can slosh it around. Now, I've got some Bulletproof XCT oil. I've got my Unfair Advantage, and I've got a shot of vodka in there. I don't taste the vodka at all. It's very, very smooth. And I'm basically balancing out what the alcohol is going to do that's bad for my biology with things that help me stay strong. Does it mean alcohol is good for you? No. Does that mean that you can drink all you want without paying the consequences? No. Does it mean that you can feel better after you drink, which gives you the chance to enjoy alcohol responsibly? Actually, it does. I don't drink very often. I just don't think it's good for me. But when I do, this is exactly what I do to feel really, really good. Hopefully this is helpful to you this holiday. Have an awesome time.